Station.
Driven by our D&M Leasing Studios, this is Sean and RJ on 105.3 The Fan.
It's going to be a 42-yard field goal attempt from the right hash for the rookie Harrison Mevis. Out of the hold of Ethan Evans, here it comes to send the Rams to Seattle for the NFC Championship game. It's good! The Rams win it 20-17 in overtime.
Good morning, Metroplex.
Very rock Triple H. I am the game.
Well, that's very, what's his name? That's guy with the beard from the 80s.
Macho Man?
Yeah, him. That was more Macho Man right there.
Monday edition of Sean and RJ live here on Martin Luther King Day. It's DFW Sports Station 105.3 The Fan. We are all still in studio and working. Hopefully you are with us. Cowboys insider Bobby Bell, along with Peyton running the Fan Cam, Twitch, and YouTube.
Mainly because nobody told us this was actually a company holiday, just like the last two company holidays. That's how we save around here, fellas. So
that's right. Well, there's a comp day.
Yeah, that's right. Nice.
20-17. What a way for the divisional round to end after the miracle Caleb Williams 4th and 4 that somehow topped the throw the week before.
Diet Pat.
Oh, Diet Mahomes?
Diet Pat.
When he was running back and sprinting back, my brain instantly said, game over.
Absolutely.
This is done.
Yeah, it's like he's trapped. He's cooked. Like he made that one faulty turn, that one bad turn where it's like, you're cooked now. And I don't know.
Nobody gets out of that. Nobody ever gets out of that in the NFL. As soon as you start running backwards, you do the turn, and then you just do the flip. Like, I expected to see where they threw it. It was going to end up at like the 3-yard line with 3 Rams around one person, and they'd knock the ball down. And instead, it's just like, oh no, nobody decided to cover here.
He threw it at the 40. How many yards into the end zone? Like how many
6 yards maybe
yards
in
the air did the ball travel? So a 46-yard throw, and I think they were on the 14.
Yeah, they were.
They were on the 14-yard line, and I thought that was the I am he drive, going left to right on your radio dial. What? Are you going to make a pronoun joke?
I know we would never joke about that.
And then Caleb rushes for a first down, and it's like the Chicago Bears are going to the NFC Championship game, and then the interception where it has to be broken down for years and years there in Chicago with DJ Moore. Well, the old flatten it out versus taking it upfield, and then you have people, Chris Collinsworth, first and foremost, questioning the effort of DJ.
Yeah, because, typically it's the quarterback's going to get blamed for the interception regardless. Like, that's just how it works. That's how it's worked since the very, very beginning. But at the end of the day, there's nuance to all this. And, yeah, you could sit there and say, that he should have, flattened the route out a little bit. But, so much of this is off schedule now anyway.
What'd you see with that, Bobby, with the interception?
To me, it looked like it was just poor communication and understanding where the ball was supposed to be, where he was supposed to be. It didn't look like I didn't think it was necessarily when I go back and look at it. I more just see that was incredible by Quentin Lake. Good job working back to the ball. It's just that's
communication and defensive play over effort and going half-ass.
Right? Yeah. Look, that's why they're so big when we get to training camp with the Cowboys. Why there was that time we were out there a couple of years ago and Princeton Fant ran some route and Dak called him back and told him to go again. And he goes, "That's 12 and a half. That's not 12." And he's like, "I told you to run 12. This is a 12-yard route. You're going to run it 12 yards. That's why they're so big on precision. You need to be right here. You need to take every step right here because I'm going to throw the ball as if you're right here."
Sean McVay ultimately gets away with being conservative at the end of regulation as they were trying to go ahead and run out that clock, not even attempting to put the ball in the air with the supposed... Last night on NBC, they just gave Matt Stafford the MVP, so I guess they know something we don't. He's going to win it over Drake May, according to those guys. But 3rd and 10, they run the ball again. They end up punting. The Bears get it at midfield, and then the miracle takes place with Tirico on the call.
Command in motion. Williams drifting, sprinting for space, in all kinds of trouble, put it up for grabs to the end zone. He got it for the touchdown. They've done it again.
The thing is with that touchdown,
Crazy.
he had a lot of space.
Yes, there's nobody. He was like,
Push off.
that's there was some people talking about. Yeah, okay, did you push off? But I mean, there was what 6 yards between him and the defender. He was open. He was just there to catch it.
Cole Kmet, first target, first reception, the hand fighting taking place, and he was open. He had about 2 or 3 yards of separation as Chicago gets sent into a frenzy. And then after being conservative to the end of regulation, Sean McVay is like, all right, screw that. If I go down here in overtime, we're throwing for the touchdown. We're not trying to get closer for the field goal attempts. We are going straight to the end zone. They came out 3 straight times throwing the rock. The humongous, controversial compared to what happened with Buffalo, Devontae Adams catch. Finally, they settle for the 42-yarder from the right-footed Janikowski.
The thicker kicker.
The thicker kick. And Tirico threw that into his setup, too.
Yeah, this is. This was not just. I didn't understand that. Okay, you got 2nd and 7, and then it's like, oh, let's take a deep shot to Parkinson. Let's take a deep shot to Ferguson. Mm-hmm. You're not even trying to throw it to like your normal our clutch get through target. It's let's throw down the field in tight windows 2 times in a row where the ball could be intercepted. I didn't get that, especially after it was just like, let's play for overtime, boys, twice. Like I would have 13 seconds left in timeouts. I'm trying to get like 2 shots down the field, see if I can get in position for a field goal, especially on the road. But
when you see a change like that, it's like, all right, did somebody get hurt that they're not telling us about? Like, did the running back get a tweak his hammy?
Yeah, the Rams got hurt. They ended up in overtime when they should have won the football game in regulation. And they went, oh crap, let's not do this again.
Who'd you think the better team was, or the team that deserved to win?
Rams. I still thought Rams were not as good as they normally are, but I still thought the Rams were better. I didn't think Chicago was as good as them.
I think Chicago had the best player on the floor, kind of thing. The Rams probably better. Probably the Rams.
877-881-1053 in order to hit us up on the Franco LaFranco Injury Attorney text line, 877-881-1053. They were throwing Matt Stafford off early on. Collinsworth kept talking about these simple pressures that the Rams should have seen the week before. In the third quarter, Stafford had been sacked a season high 4 times already. So they were getting to him, and it seemed like they were just relying on Kyren Williams. I talked about the physicality of the Rams. They came out with it on the opening drive, and they just decided Kyren Williams, a little bit of Blake Corum, that's what's going to try to bring us home before winging it to the end zone at the end.
Yeah, they're used to playing in the canopy. That's what they play. They play in the LA canopy, and then they were in the elements, and it was like, all right, let's try and minimize risk here. I mean, you saw enough of over the weekend. I mean, there were 3 interceptions from Caleb Williams in this game. There was in the Houston game, we saw the difficulty they had holding onto the football, not turning it over in the elements there with Houston and the Patriots, and so. It could be that McVay was just like, yeah, we're not turning the ball over here. Just ball security and do our best to get our way down the field. And when we need to throw it, we will. But yeah, Stafford was off in this game.
Yes.
But I mean, when the big moments were needed, he delivered. Whether it be a 3rd down completion to Nakua and kind of marching down the field a little bit.
One throw to Devontae. I'm not giving him credit for the throw.
Devontae gets a ton of credit for that. Like, I mean, the fact that he kept. Yeah, and Chicago fans are booing. I don't know what they're booing at. That was so clearly a catch to me, other than just you're being homers and not wanting it to be a catch.
Yeah, the big fight that took place was with Buffalo. I'm trying to save enough time to have that entire catch, non-catch conversation. We may be. I think Choppy may be a little bit more on the fence. The only talk show in America where everyone on air is going to agree that the officials in the Buffalo-Denver game got it right.
Well, look, it's just take the defensive player out of there, right? If that guy wasn't there, is it a catch? That's right? Because the ball came out.
Well,
because
I don't know if the ball ends up on the ground.
Yeah, I think Cooks
he took it from him.
Yeah, he may have. It also could have allowed it to break free a bit, and it just kind of fell in his hands. It's first of all, you can't use common sense because the NFL catch rule has never made common sense. And I know there's some of the defensive Richard Sherman was like, that's never been an interception.
Yeah.
It's my issues with the process of it. Not going to review. and why they didn't go to replay, why they did not spend 10 minutes of, that is too important to just sit there and say, we got to get the game moving. For what? Because you got to get to the next game? If that's the reason, that's a problem.
They could have reviewed it. I think they're coming back saying the same thing. That's a pick to me. It's so... It sucks that, I think the better argument is probably was he interfered with, because there was contact before the ball got there. That was closer. But once the ball's up in the air and it's wrestled away and it never touches the ground and it's moving as he's going to the ground, that's I don't understand what the argument is.
Well, people like Dan Orlovsky and Dave Portnoy and everyone else are taking, like they did with Dez, they're taking the still shot and they're taking the rule of finishing the catch to the ground out of it. Mm-hmm. So they're taking the still shot of Cooks with the football, knee down, dead. That's dead in the majority of people's minds. I've looked at multiple polls, and 80% believe that was a catch, but they're taking out of the equation the same thing they got the Cowboys and Dez Bryant with controlling the football and finishing the catch through the ground.
Yeah, my issue is, I know what a catch looks like, and I know what an interception looks like. That doesn't look like an interception.
I don't think I think the last thing it looked like was a catch.
And I don't think it looks like a catch either.
If you want to say...
it has to be an interception.
I really felt like... I agree with you. I really felt like, as I'm watching all the replays, I was like, I wish there was a way for this to be incomplete.
Yeah, I did too.
I was like, the fair thing at the end of this is incomplete, but the ball never touched the ground,
right. That's the thing.
and the defender ended up with it.
It never touches the ground, and he never has control. Cooks never really controls the ball. It's like the Antonio Freeman catch years ago on Monday Night Football. The ball never touched. He never really possessed it. Bounces off his arm. It rolls around on his shoulder, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm on my stomach, and I caught it." That was a catch 25 years ago. That's an interception. Ball never touches. Defender, and in fact, if you watch it in real speed, everybody kept slowing it down, or the still image, like you're saying. If you watch it in real time, there's not that much time where ball gets there and the defender doesn't have it. It kind of rolls for a sec, but he gets a hold of it in real time pretty fast. And so to me, that's so clearly an interception that I don't know how Richard Sherman would say that's never been an interception. Yeah, it has. The entirety of the NFL. 40 years ago, that's a pick. They call it a pick regardless.
You got to survive. You got to go through the ground. It's not to the ground. It's through the ground. You got to survive the ground. But again, that doesn't look like any interception I've ever seen. To me, that doesn't look like an interception. It doesn't look like a catch either. I'm with you. I wish it was incomplete.
To me, it's like...
So what are you ruling it?
You can't call it incomplete because it never hit the ground.
Right.
So you have to call it interception, even though you don't want to.
So you're not leaning towards catch. You're leaning towards pick. You're not blowing Cooks down and dead.
The only call it can be is a pick, because he didn't catch it because he didn't survive the ground.
Yeah. Pepe, what did you think? You've been watching football for a long time.
My initial thought was, I'm not upset with it being called an interception. I was like, okay, go either way, but I initially thought it was a catch. But when his knee hit the ground, he has possession of the ball. I thought the ground maybe caused the ball to jump up a little bit, but I thought he should have been ruled dead there. And I was also biased. I want it to be called a catch. I was rooting for Buffalo the whole game, but I'm not upset that it's called interception.
McMillan's hands never leave the ball. He makes contact with the ball as it's received. He keeps his hands around it the entire time. I don't understand how this is so like people are just like, wow, Buffalo screwed here. There's nothing about that says that's screwed. He keeps his hands on there the entire time.
Is this an easier decision than the Dez catch?
Yeah, 100%. I don't even think this is a question. I'm surprised this became I'm surprised it became a big controversy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because it was so bang bang.
I thought more people would say Cooks was I figured it'd be a bigger thing of just Cooks hold on to the ball. Why couldn't you wrestle it away? And instead of just, wow, we got screwed. But it's Buffalo, and there's excuses for decades, and that's what they do.
What's more of a catch between this and Dez?
Well, this is more clearly you could look, obviously with Dez, there's the people who refuse to say the ball ever touched the ground, actually, because somehow the camera skips that frame like the Missing Zapruder film. Dez is they're both, I think, ruled correctly. Dez is absolutely not a catch by the rule.
Okay.
So,
but no, because Dez goes up, high points the football, comes down, step forward to lunge. Like a lot of people would have said at the time when football move was part of it. That was, a lot of people said, a football move. And he's reaching out. It's going to the ground because he was diving to reach for the goal line.
Shouldn't have.
I agree that Dez's was more of a catch, but the technical rules getting the Cowboys and the Bills.
Did you think they were about to do the Brandon Cooks ruling to Devontae Adams? Yesterday when he had his little ball wrestled away. His was definitely way more caught the ball, took steps, and had his knee down.
Well, that's the other big controversy. People are like, how is that a catch? And Brandon Cooks' wasn't. We obviously have time for it this morning as the entire morning crew is in on this Martin Luther King Day. Hopefully you are as well. Turning it on, leaving it on, DFW Sports Station. What happened in the earlier game is the armpit about to be without a quarterback, and the rest of the classic on Saturday. NFL Divisional Round recaps with the 6 a.m. club next.
But let's get you over to Underdog Fantasy. Make
gives business owners like you one less thing to worry about. Learn more at txu.com.
And it's back to Sean and RJ right here on 105.3. The Fan segment here brought to you by the Personal and Jewelers Frankel and Frankel. If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, call Frankel first, 214 or 817-333-3333. With Frankel and Frankel, there's never an out-of-pocket cost. They only get paid when you win. Frankel and Frankel, the go-to car and truck attorneys in Dallas.
The 1st and 10 for the Texans, working right to left on the far hash mark. C.J. Stroud in a tight formation, 2x2. Single back is Chubb, play fake, bootleg to the near side. Receiver fell down, and Stroud throws it up in the air. Intercepted Marcus Jones, right 20, 15, 10. Jones is tackled by Hutchinson, takes him to the pylon. Touchdown! Patriots!
Look at it. It's nuts again. They're going nuts. And you got to love it.
The number one homer call that exists in radio now.
Easy.
Scott Zolak, the former quarterback, Patriots Radio. This is Sean and RJ live here on 105.3 The Fan.
You know, I thought going into like the last year that we were going to get a good decade of Pat's futility and not seeing them in the Super Bowl, because that's over now. I thought we were going to get that. As it were, we are not. Lie detector determined that was a lie. We are going to get them back here in about 3 years.
Blame Josh Allen. Josh Allen, who mentored Drake May and, decided. I still think that's ridiculous. Like, we would all lose our minds if we heard about Dak, mentoring Jackson Dart. The fact that Josh Allen just decided to help Drake May come along and start beating him in the division every year.
28-16, the Massholes handle the Houston Texans. And again, kind of the mirror image of both of their games last week. It felt like New England should have been up more. Just like it felt like New England should have been up more, in my opinion, in the wild card round. And C.J. Stroud with a back-to-back horrific performance. I was a little disappointed in my guy Troy Aikman. It felt like he was trying to make excuses for C.J. with a hurt hand. But C.J. Stroud, seeing ghosts, terrified, and immediately making Bobby regret picking the armpit to win this one.
I'm not exaggerating, I don't think, when I say he could have thrown 10 interceptions in this game. Didn't it feel like there were 5 other ones that were almost picked off? That should have been caught. This was so bad. And
is it worse than Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean, this is so. I had looked it up yesterday. During the season he played all 17 games. Right now he played 14, but still, he played 14 games. He had 8 interceptions, 2 fumbles all season. So he had 10 picks and fumbles combined.
10 turnovers, yeah.
He had 10 picks and fumbles combined in 6 quarters through the playoffs this year. 10! He had fumbled the ball 5 times already, or 6 times already, and had thrown for 5 and 5. It was ridiculous that he could not control the ball.
He was so awful. It kept Denver alive in my mind. I said, if Houston somehow wins this, I would give the Broncos a fighting chance because of...
Even with Stidham.
Against CJ. Against the Texans offense. And D'Amico, Choppy, you tweeted the same thing I did. D'Amico told you everything when he decided to punt down 12 with 4 minutes left.
He's just like, my defense got a better chance of scoring.
It wasn't, it wasn't like 4th and 30.
No, it was like 4th and 4 or something like that, 6.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit longer. Yeah. But they punted down 12 with 4 minutes left. You know what? I think it was 3rd and 18. Unless I'm wrong. It didn't feel like that. I have that in my notes. I don't know why I have 3rd and 18. I guess I may understand it if it's 3rd and 18, but for some reason I remember it being a little bit less.
It was significant. See, he had gotten sacked right before then, so it was with, let's see here.
It was 4th and 18. Yeah, it was 4th and 18.
So,
yeah. It was 3rd and 10. It was 3rd and 10, and then
he got sacked.
I, at one point, just like the week before with the Steelers and the Texans, I wish both teams could have lost this game. New England was 7 points off of 5 turnovers at one point. And you know what the 7 points were? The pick six.
Yeah.
Pick 6 representing 6 of the 7 points off of 5 turnovers. The Patriots had more takeaways in 3 quarters than the Jets defense had in the entire season. And it set up the conversation for C.J. Stroud to be benched at halftime. That, of course, had Ryan Clark trending on the ESPN halftime set. what would you have done if you were D'Amico? What did you think was going to happen? Did you think we could have seen Davis Mills?
No. That just doesn't happen in football. The baseball guy in me can't comprehend how they never pull the starting quarterback. They pull the goalie. They pull the pitcher. You don't. Some days you don't have it, right? Some days, and they never do it in football. Some days you just don't have it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You put the day away and you go on to the next day. They don't do that in this sport. So no, I didn't think they were gonna, because this just doesn't happen.
CJ was so awful. He threw a pass that people think tore his receiver's ACL. The one where the guy had to turn back and his leg bent back, and they're like, "Oh, that's CJ just tore his ACL with the number of balls he's throwing behind everyone. He doesn't want to run. He screwed me over in the first. This is a young kid. This is a young kid who should not have Phillip Rivers' athleticism, and he just wants to win and beat you from the pocket. Now, yes, their offensive line was terrible. They were missing Nico Collins, and Dalton Schultz got hurt. So do that to any offense, right? And you're going to be limited. But you think maybe you start scrambling, maybe you start running, maybe a little street yard, backyard football. No, CJ wants to beat you from the pocket. And as you were noticing last night, you felt like he was late on a lot of it.
That's just part of being a young quarterback, is that you just don't process the game as you will year 8. Dak will tell you he's a much faster processor now than he was in 2018. That's just the reality of it. CJ is in his 2018 Dak season now, so he's just not. And they don't do a great job anymore of teaching quarterbacks how to play the position at the younger levels. And it's one of the things that bothers the hell out of me. They're like, let's just find somebody who can throw and run, and I don't have to coach him up anymore.
The problem is regression. It's not that it's like, oh, he's young. It's he's getting worse. He looked so, at the end of the first season, that back half of his rookie year, and the way he played was like, oh, this dude's next up. And he's ready to take over. And then it got worse last year, and it's gotten worse this year. It is RG3 levels of regression, of just what is wrong with you? Why are you not the same player anymore?
I felt really bad for Will Anderson. He does not deserve this. 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He's an absolute menace out there, as Drake May was turning it over as well. And this game, after 3, was 21-16 until we got, aside from Caleb Williams, the play of the postseason.
Anderson coming off the edge. May steps into it, takes a shot downfield, and caught for the touchdown, Kayshon Boutte.
That was crazy. Joe Buck with the call on Fox. That was the one-handed touchdown on 3rd down against Stingley as well. That makes it 28-16. Night-night, game blouses, game over.
Yeah, This was something yesterday where it's we talked about how I thought the Rams were the better team pretty much the whole time. And you're watching this and going all right, was Buffalo better than Denver? Just different things. To me, it was pretty clear. I regretted picking Houston. I was like, yeah, New England's just better. And then they deserve a lot of credit for, it feels like they're a year early. Like I mentioned, last week, it feels like they're just a little early on their timing, but they are completely deserving, and they are a well-coached football team, and they act more veteran than their age across that roster would seem.
Of course, the thriller that took place on Saturday between the Bills and the Broncos actually had Sean Payton going back to the podium after the victorious post-game press conference to deliver this news.
On the second to last play in overtime, Bo fractured a bone in his right ankle. He's scheduled to have surgery Tuesday of this week, which will put him out for the rest of the season. Steady's ready to go. And it was the second to last play before he threw the pass to Mims.
Bo Nix gone for the rest of the playoffs after some nails throws, some big time plays. He's over on the sideline, I think, after the touchdown to Mims, and Sean Payton said he's trying to chest bump him, and Bo's like, not right now. And Sean's like, what's going on? And then he's like, something doesn't feel right. I'm in a lot of pain. And then afterwards, Tracy Wolfson, CBS sideline reporter, she's noticing Bo with his leg up. He's not putting any weight on the ankle. And she's like, what's wrong? And he's like, that was just stressful. And she's like, you're not smiling. And he's like, well, it's just a crazy game. She's like, you feel all right? Everything fine? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then the broken ankle. Gone for the AFC Championship game. Jared Stidham, backed up by Sam Ehlinger.
There we go. Did I see that?
Ellinger.
Did I see that he heard it on that play and then he broke it on the kneel down when he knelt down to get into position for the field goal?
I think that was the initial story, but it seemed like a play where he was kind of moving and rushing left was the play where it happened.
Yeah, where the initial injury happened, right? And then
I don't know if it
snap,
happened.
I don't know.
Down.
But
I mean, if he doesn't, if he doesn't get that pass interference call on Tre'Davious White on the next play, like, I mean, is he out there like on third? Like, how much longer could he have hung out there?
Well, Bronco fans are also saying there was a hold in the end zone you didn't call. That would have ended things. You didn't need to have him out there as well. But Denver loses their starting quarterback, and I'm a little bit surprised at the two lines for Sunday.
I haven't seen the Rams one.
All right. The Patriots one opened at -4.
New England -4?
New England -4.
I saw it 5.5.
The look-ahead line was Denver -1, so Bo's injury moves the line 5 points.
Which makes sense. Okay, so I heard this morning that it was initially Denver -3.5, and then it moved to 5.5, which would be a 9-point swing. And that made no sense because the largest swing ever is prime Aaron Rodgers. And that's not Bo Nix.
No.
We've never seen a quarterback swing a line 9 points. Okay, so that makes more sense.
Right now I'm seeing Patriots by 5.5 points. Bobby, guess the NFC title game spread.
I'm going to say that it is Seattle -1.
Oh,
I have no idea.
6.5.
I would have leaned more towards choppy. Maybe not that high, 2.5. You think only 1 point separation? I'm surprised.
I literally think it's just home. I think the Rams showed this year that the Rams should have swept them. They had just a complete meltdown against Seattle.
Yeah, I'm saying Seattle should be favored by more than 1. And I even think they should be favored by more than 2.5. You're guessing, and you were guessing 6.
I was thinking 6.5. Yeah, 6.5.
I think the Rams are...
I think the Rams are a tough matchup for them.
I think the Rams
they should have won that game.
Yeah, I think the Rams are just a better football team.
Well, they're not playing better, though.
No, they're not. No, they've had their issues, but I mean, that's...
You had Seattle above them last week in the power rankings.
Yeah, they should have, and that's the thing. The Rams have freaked me out with some of the ways they've played, but throughout the season, like I said, when they lost that game, that was like a miracle comeback for Seattle where they barely came, and it took special teams meltdowns from the Rams. It should have been like an easy sweep for them this year, so I guess they're not worried about Stafford.
And those teams that you division teams, they know how to. The Rams absolutely know how to beat Seattle. Like, and obviously Seattle knows how to play them too. But Stafford's played the Rams, the Seahawks a lot more than Darnold's played the Rams.
An update on the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator search and how did all the hires over the weekend also affect Brian Schottenheimer and Jerry Jones. That's next inside the Star on the home of the Cowboys with Sean and RJ.
But first, affordability is the biggest problem in today's car market. New vehicles average
Tonight with the Fan and the Rangers at Hurtado's Dallas.
And it's back to Sean and RJ right here on 105.3, the Fan segment here brought to you by Classic Chevrolet. If you're in the market, upgrade your vehicle. Get to Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine today. The back-to-back #1 Chevy dealership in the world. More new Chevys than anyone else, all priced to sell. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Together, let's drive, relax, enjoy the difference based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 and 2024.
What's to send the Broncos to the AFC Championship game? Here's the snap, the spot, the kick is up, it is good, and the Broncos win in overtime. Denver 33, Buffalo 30, and for the first time in a decade, the Denver Broncos are back in the AFC Championship game.
And John Harbaugh will have to wait for his defensive coordinator. No, hopefully not. Good morning, Metroplex. It's Sean and RJ. We're working. We are here, and hopefully you are as well. We got a Charlie Puth ticket giveaway to hook you up with in the 7 o'clock expressway today and all week long on Martin Luther King Day. We got Cowboys insider Bobby Belt along with Peyton on the Fan Cam, Twitch, and YouTube. Of course, 33-30, Denver over Buffalo in a classic on Broncos radio.
That was clearly a pass interference from Tre'Davious White that set it up, I thought. After the game, did you see what he said?
I didn't make contact. The refs don't know ball.
They don't know ball, man.
You deserve to lose just for that.
They don't know ball.
He says, should leave it up to the players to decide the game. Refs just don't know ball, man.
Yeah.
So there you go. They don't know ball.
Well, they have 50-something.
47 yards.
Dude,
pass interference.
He's tossing his helmet. He's throwing a little fit at the end. It's like, you made contact.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah.
That was interference. He wants to be able to commit penalties without them being called at the end of games. That's all he wants.
A pair of pass interference calls. Now, I think the first one also had a 15-yard roughing the passer to go along with it, right? So even if you disagreed with the PI, you had the roughing the passer, and then White then slamming his helmet and getting the unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, They did a good job of swallowing their whistle the entire game. And then they went, because I think teams combined for maybe 8 total penalties, and that's including those 3. So, they basically did not call anything the entire game.
Yeah, that you can't just go, just swallow your whistle. He's holding him and tackling him before the ball is there.
Yeah, I don't even think the still shot shows how bad it was. In order to give me this whole and much of social media with RJ's sentiment saying, let them decide. You've done it up until this point. Okay, well, where's the line? We all see instant. We all see. So it has to be murder out there. Bring OJ back.
Overtime. It's like hockey, right? Hey, you ain't get a penalty in overtime.
So we all see replays in football now 4 different times.
Yeah.
In order to sit there and tell me that they should swallow the whistles at the very end, you got to line up all the other calls and non-calls throughout the game. And I don't remember watching throughout the game and saying, oh, that was bad. They definitely let that one slide. Oh, my gosh, that was egregious. And they're just letting them play. If that's the case, and you can point to me 2 or 3 other plays, Buffalo fans, where it was not as egregious, then I'll listen to you that the same thing should have happened. But we can't go from a 4 in hand fighting to a 7 or an 8 just because it's a bigger moment.
Yeah, look, we just we can't you can't just bank on the referees to swallow their whistles because Josh Allen is officially a choker.
Oh,
you're not allowed to have that.
Sound like my brother. You've been texting my brother.
Well, we talk a lot. So
we'll get to that at 7:20. We still wanting Jim Leonard after they gave up, 30 to Buffalo. I'm kidding.
Run Vance Joseph out of there.
Vance Joseph's
It's Vance's problem.
Defense. But let's go ahead and talk about the coaching moves that were made throughout the National Football League and how it affects the Cowboys. And let's actually start in Frisco with a Cowboys update, Bobby.
Yes, the Cowboys are going to do their in-person interviews. We are now moving on to in-person. This is the next step. You're no longer just on the Zoom sessions. Now you're getting face-to-face and getting to kind of drill down on your targets here. And this is something that Steven had talked about last week with Tommy Arsh, that they were going to kind of start zeroing in and figuring out guys that they want to talk to. They cannot talk to Jim Leonard in person until in theory, their season ends or until they make the Super Bowl. But they have 3 names that will be getting interviewed right out of the gate. Jonathan Gannon, Durante Jones, who is the defensive pass game coordinator with the Vikings, and then Christian Parker, who's the defensive passing game coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles that we talked about last week. So those 3 have made it further to this point.
Gannon is tomorrow.
They were waiting around, I think, to see if Jeff Ulbrich would get cut loose with the Falcons. That did not happen. So Kevin Stefanski decided to retain him, and so you've got these 3 who are kind of the finalists at this point that we're aware of.
Nick Harris tweeted Forward-Star Telegram, hearing some good reviews on the interview from Durante Jones. He impressed some people in the building. Efficient communicator, a big deal in this search. Confident in what he preaches. He's been the surprise of the search so far. So that is Nick Harris as they're getting set for Jonathan Gannon tomorrow.
Yeah, I think when they go through their process, they want to see guys who... It's a little bit like, when we see the interviews leaked from the combine of, not leaked, I mean, teams usually put them out, but they'll put out like, oh, here's our interview with the Eagles when they talked to Carson Wentz, and we had him on the whiteboard, and here's where he really impressed us. It's a lot of times the similar thing, just like pop quiz situations where it's, hey, what would you do with this? Or how would you do this? And I think that, yeah, these 3 probably impress them the most during the cycle.
Choppy, you've been monitoring the dissatisfaction in the ATL over new Falcons coach Kevin Stefanski.
I'm a little surprised that people are nonplussed about this hire. I just don't understand it. Like, I see Ravens fans on Twitter saying, marking myself safe from Kevin Stefanski. Media members saying this is a nothing hire that doesn't move the needle. And the amount of people that agreed with me when I pushed back on that on social media, that agreed with the sentiment that it's a nothing hire. What about a 2-time coach of the year who wins a playoff game in Cleveland?
Touchdown.
Is a nothing hire. Winning a single playoff game with the Browns is the equivalent of winning like 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots. That's the equivalent here. That's what we're working with. And he had an awful quarterback situation.
I could say, if I wanted to argue, he's an offensive guy, and he didn't make Deshaun Watson work. Shador Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, no hopes. Joe Flacco maybe playing better in Cincinnati than he did in Cleveland, even though not last year in Cleveland when Joe went old man crazy. But you had, a top 5 at one point quarterback with Deshaun Watson, and it failed miserably. So that's what I could argue back. And they were 8-26 over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, look, I think everybody understands that's a lot more Deshaun than anything else. Deshaun clearly doesn't even have the locker room. You got guys not even blocking for him.
He just had his process disrupted, his preparation process.
That's what it is. Stefanski's coaching record by year: 11-5, awesome. 8-9, 7-10, 11-6, then 3-14, and 5-12.
I can't describe it. There are some things that
who all were the quarterbacks he had there?
Baker.
He had Baker. He had Watson.
Hey, well, can I ding him for Baker?
Yeah,
the playoffs with Baker.
And Baker crumbled in Cleveland. Though.
We've seen it. We've seen enough quarterbacks have rough starts to their careers and then figure it out. Whether or not, and there's enough examples of it.
And McVay had Baker.
Yeah, and there's enough examples of it to say, all right, maybe it's not coaching. Maybe it's all right, you just got to have
growth.
You just got to figure the game out. And it takes time for everybody.
I can't put into words why. I couldn't begin to tell you. Most of the time I can say, here's exactly why I think I think Kevin Stefanski is a good coach that if my team hired him, I would be disappointed. I don't know how to explain. It's
like Wade Phillips. It's like Wade.
Tomlin, I know you're a good coach. If my team hired Tomlin, I'd be kind of like, really?
Yeah.
That doesn't excite me. That's not who I would have hired in Atlanta. Atlanta needed the most go get it, push you over the top ready coach possible.
What were you drinking last night?
Nothing. I didn't have anything.
Sure?
But, yep. I would have interviewed. I would have had near the top of my list. I would have had Mike McCarthy if I was Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah. And it's because McCarthy, if you want to talk about this is a team that's ready and got all the pieces in place and you just need somebody to come in here.
This team was that.
Push it
push it where?
Push it a little bit.
Push it really. Push it where?
I think they need somebody to come in there and just, all right, preserve their health, make things a little more comfortable, things like that's what Atlanta needs. And so to me, I would have really pushed hard against the Giants. I would have tried to get Harbaugh. Tomlin's obviously not coaching right now, but other than that, it's like, yeah, I want somebody who's done this before and been around for it. So that leaves you pretty much just McCarthy on the market.
Well, it looks like he's. Huh? I feel like I need to. My left leg is now weak.
Don't worry,
I had to stand on my right.
I'll crush McCarthy more throughout the show. Don't worry.
Like Bo Nix.
It looks like he's not a finalist for Tennessee now.
He's interviewing with the Steelers.
Yeah, it's like
As the AI image showed us from Tom Pelissero.
Because he interviewed with Tennessee.
Tom, you're a whore.
Oh, man.
You're a whore, Tom.
It's disgusting.
Like a credentialed, respected
Tom
NFL
Pelissero.
inside.
Yeah.
Boom.
Pelissero.
Well done. Putting up this AI image that Aiden is going to have to throw in the fan cam of McCarthy sitting there with a cigarette at a Yingling in a Pittsburgh Yinzer bar, sitting in his dad's bar. And he put that out there. What are you doing? Well, I know what you're doing. You're simping.
Oh,
but
definitely.
Dude,
You
have a little bit of credibility.
You look at his history every time he refers to McCarthy on Twitter. Super Bowl winning head coach Mike McCarthy. And the only reason that I assume that McCarthy has told him, make sure to address me as Super Bowl winning head coach, is because I've heard through the grapevine of his sensitivities of the fact that I pressed him as a non-Super Bowl winning head coach myself.
It sounds like the Giants are getting the dream scenario for Cowboy fans with an organizational shakeup that delayed John Harbaugh becoming official in New York. So it's a 5-year deal. Albert Breer says John Harbaugh will be reporting directly to ownership. That is a departure from the norm for New York and a concession made to the new man in charge. So this thing kept getting kind of delayed and what's going on? And is Harbaugh saying, get Joe Shane out of here, or Joe Shane can stay? And I go right over his head, but it got worked out. John Harbaugh is officially the Giants coach.
Okay, so what is Joe Shane's role?
Right.
Is he just like
crunch the numbers?
President of Ops?
Water boy.
Right,
Just get him some coffee, find out how John likes his coffee.
Charge Scatibus, charge the scooter, Cam's scooter.
Yeah. Get all the Ubers for the players.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to do.
Right?
He's the Costanza of the Giants now.
I mean, look, he's...
Now, look, this is a little dangerous now because don't forget about the great Ozzie Newsome, one of the greatest general managers of all time. Don't forget about Eric DeCosta. Right. These coaches sometimes fall into this trap now, right? There was always a conversation in Seattle. Is Pete Carroll in charge of it? Is he trying to be the general manager as well? And we've all known for a long time, hey, coaches can't do both. And now John Harbaugh is using that Baltimore status to say, no, I want to do both, when he's always had one of the best in the game doing it.
Absolutely. And this is where, ask, because we just saw Denver against Buffalo.
Tomlin should have had it more if what you heard out of Pittsburgh was true, that he was picking the quarterback.
Right. Ask Denver, because we just saw this, Denver-Buffalo. Denver passed on Josh Allen, who John Elway wanted. But Vance Joseph was like, no, I need a edge. I need a defensive player. So they got Bradley Chubb instead. And he's like, all right, you're the coach. This is why coaches shouldn't be picking players. Because they pick what they want, not what they need.
Brian Billick was a good coach there and had success and won a title, and then he never got another gig again because a lot of people viewed it as like, yeah, well, you were handed everything. And so that has never existed really with John Harbaugh, which is interesting because John Harbaugh has been a big game playoff shrinker in recent years. He does not step up in those big moments.
All right, so there is your NFL weekend with a coaching update here on Sean and RJ. Let's get you set for tonight with the College Football Championship. RJ with a College Championship kegger, and what happened with the Stars and Mavs over the weekend as well, along with a Charlie Puth ticket giveaway next.
After we get you over to Zerez, get that carpet professionally clean. Cleanway, Greenway, Zerez Way, best carpet cleaner in the industry. It is
Let's go, Cowboys.
An Odyssey sports station. Driven by our D&M Leasing Studio. This is Sean and RJ on 105.3 The Fan.
I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now.
Well, I win. Google me.
We're not hosting an intergalactic kegger down here.
Oh, baby, do we have high ticket prices for this game tonight? More expensive than Taylor Swift, more expensive than anything. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, national championship game, Indiana against the Hurricanes.
I lost every underdog play over the weekend. Every single one. I was like 0 for 5. Tell me why I shouldn't try to get it all back with Indiana with 7.5 tonight. Talk me out of it.
No, I'm taking Indiana minus the points. You could make this. I don't know there's a number that I wouldn't take Indiana.
Well, of course there's a number.
Yeah, 40.
13.5.
I'm taking
40?
Indiana.
13.5, you're taking Indiana?
I'm going to bet this thing up to at least 10.5.
Wow.
I'm going to take. I have never. Oh, I can't say this. I have never been more sure of anything in my life.
Oh, you're giving me a Bobby guarantee?
Yeah,
give me a Bobby guarantee.
Yeah, I'll give you a Bobby guarantee. I don't think I've ever been more sure of anything in my life.
$100 would get me 92. Betting them with the points.
Bounce it up, buy it up to 10.5. Buy it up to 10.5.
Bobby, 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. I would go Indiana because I don't think Miami's as good as them. This feels like a slam dunk to me, but. Man, that's a lot of points to say.
10.5,
13, you'd go up to.
You're asking for a backdoor cover that just kicks you in the you know what's at the very end, and that might happen. There's no doubt about that. But Indiana hasn't played anything resembling a close game in a month and a half.
The good news here, well, I mean, they didn't play for about a month in that month and a half. The good news here, though, is that this will be the first time Miami actually gets to play in front of a full Hard Rock Stadium, like ever. So that's
good news. That's good news because what did I see the other day? They were like sandwiched in the between like Purdue and BYU.
All right, if I make it 9.5, $100 will get me 104.
Man, that is they're not. That's not anything. You got to that's how set these books are that Indiana's going to run.
Indiana, if they when they win, which they will, when they win, the discussion then at that point has to turn to, is this one of the greatest teams we've seen in the last 30 years or something like that. The season they put together is one of the best, most dominant seasons we've seen, but I mean
if I bet them
really, really good.
Straight up, $100 would get me $31.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's what it's 3-1 odds, like implied. I'm sorry, 1 to 3 implied odds.
So you have no doubt either, Bobby.
Indiana's winning.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, that is a discussion that we may have to have. And like personally, I think it's gonna be very difficult to ever say that they're a better team than X. It's like the '92 Cowboys. The 07 Patriots never could come close to the '92 Cowboys just because of the salary cap and the depth that the teams have.
They're pretty good.
They were.
Not Kevin Hagelin, not according to Kevin.
They were, but like the Cowboys had starters. The Cowboys had starters backing up starters.
Yeah.
And then salary cap just doesn't allow that anymore. So like I don't think that this team could ever be as good as like LSU and Burrow LSU and some of those Bama teams and that Florida team. So I Miami in 01. I don't think you're ever going to see something like that. But
so what are the prices looking like?
Well, how about this? We are looking at, to get in the door right now, upper level, $2,750. You are looking at club level, $4,000. There's a guy that paid $27,000 for seats on the 30. On the 30.
These Indiana people got money.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been told they have a large network of fans. I don't know where they've been. I don't know what they've been doing. I don't even hear them in basketball. Like I never hear from Indiana fans. But apparently it's a very, very large fan base. So yeah, guys spent $27,000 on some tickets they're in a club-ish level, but they're the lower level, 30-yard line. And then if you want tickets like regular seats, not club seats, not come with any food, you're looking at about $15,000 each. On the 50.
I mean, it feels a little like when you're talking about the Indiana fans. It feels a little like how the Lions were. You know how the Lions were pathetic for forever, and then all of a sudden they just start taking over stadiums, and they're like, well, yeah, it's one of the biggest fan bases in the world. It's like, is it? I've never heard of them, and all of a sudden they're this massive fan base. They're just, this is if you want to talk about, like, if you go position by position and just look at, like, okay, let's look at talent and compare talent to previous teams. Like, Indiana's not going to be one of the top teams ever. But if you want to talk about just consistency and the way they've beaten down teams and what they are as a football team put together, what that whole unit is, they are so impressive. And I mean, this is a team that I think even some of those like really talented like Saban era Alabama teams, like they would be tough competition for them.
Saturday Night Live had some fun with this game in Miami with the Playmaker joining over the weekend.
The College Football National Championship game kicks off this Monday with Indiana taking on Miami. Here to talk about it is football legend and Miami's most enthusiastic fan, Michael Irvin.
That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah, what's up, Michael? Wait a minute. Your name Michael, my name Michael. You know what that means?
That we have the same name?
Not just the same name. We have the same father. His sperm split in two. Michael Yin, Michael Yang, Jelly and Belly.
Okay, so you're already on 10, huh?
That's just me, Michael. My resting heart rate is a perfect score, 16,000. My mama was a hummingbird, and my daddy was a brick of cocaine.
Calm down.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to Miami.
The game isn't until Monday.
Yeah, but I'm running there. I figure if I leave now, hop on 95, depending on weather and traffic, it should take me about 6.5 hours.
Wait, you're running to Miami?
That's right, Michael. So if you see an angry 60-year-old man run down Highway 95, well over the speed limit with bugs all over his face, and I ask for the police tranquilizer darts, you better get out the way.
Like it?
I like it.
He dressed up. He dressed up, looked like Mike.
Oh
too.
yeah, he did. He wore the cane shirt. It's a solid bit.
I was not sure how Cam Patterson was going to work on SNL. He's been good though. He's the Kill Tony superstar.
Michael absolutely will be there. And so will the president, and this is causing a big stir because, look, presidents, stay away from sporting events. It just causes a pain in the butt for all of us. Anybody who goes, if you've been to a sporting event where there's presidential personnel there, it's a nightmare. They're saying fans get to the game super early. So my suggestion is if you're going to go, if you're a president, you're going to go to the game, you got to get there like 8 hours early.
The president?
The president does. You want to go, you got to get there like 8 hours early, get in the stadium, sit in your seat, take your calls, whatever, get a couch, get him a cot, and then leave. But you got to leave like 8 hours after the game so everybody can get out. Or leave before the game's over. That's the rule. But yeah, he's going to be there. He'll probably do the coin toss or something, but they're saying, like, be ready. Be ready for like a extended time to get in because of the presence of the president. Have you been to a game
with the president?
Yeah.
No, I know we all got hung up going to, what was it, Vegas?
That's right.
Where they just made us circle the desert because they're like, well, the plane's got to get out of airspace.
I went
first.
to one Army-Navy game, and they shut off a bunch of different exits and entrances.
Yeah, what year was that?
I think it was Bush 2.
It would have to. Right, 92 would have been the end of Bush 1.
Yeah. So
I went the first time they were in Baltimore. In like
mine was in Philly.
Yeah, so that was the first time they were in Baltimore in like, since the war. Since like Navy had to go get Army and bring them down. So that's maybe 01, 02.
And isn't Trump doing something with Army Navy?
Yeah, so he is going to sign an executive order that makes Army Navy a standalone game, which is going to impact the playoff. Maybe. They could get around this still. So the playoff, if they expand to 16 or 24, which there's a Friday deadline for that, they're still split. Big Ten and the SEC, they're still split on what they want to do. They both want to expand it, but how they want to get there is a problem right now.
Well, maybe if the SEC actually showed up in some of these title games, they could vote on it.
So anyway, he wants to make the Army Navy a standalone game as the second Saturday in December. College football, they expand. They want to move a playoff game to the second Saturday in December. So what they would have to do is they would have to just work around the Army-Navy game. So if Army-Navy's at 2 o'clock, have a playoff game at 11 a.m. and then one at 7 p.m. They could do that. They could make that work. But that's one of the things that he wants to do is to get that game kind of standalone and keep it standalone. College Kegger here on 105.3 The Fan. This is a we'll play the Carson Beck audio since we're on this game still. Carson Beck was asked by a reporter about what his week leading up to this game was like because of his course load.
Carson, I'm curious, did you have class yesterday? If so, what class? And I know there was a pep rally on campus. Just what has it been like being you as a student this week, particularly yesterday?
No class. I graduated 2 years ago, so obviously I've been working towards other degrees now that I've gotten to Miami, but these programs take a little longer than just a year to finish, so obviously I'm not enrolling again next semester, so I will be done after this season.
No class. I graduated 2 years ago.
Working towards other degrees.
Other degrees.
Now, what if I do have a kid, an overachiever that graduates early? Because common sense would just boil down to me of, let's just, not outthink the room. If you're involved in an NBA transaction, you shouldn't be allowed to go to Baylor.
Right, no.
Right? If you haven't gone to class, you graduated 2 years ago, you shouldn't be playing college sports anymore. But what happens to the kid who does graduate early?
Which, it's a good point, because a lot of football players, they stay year-round, right? They stay during the summer. They take classes.
You guys told me they can go in with credits now from high school.
So a lot of guys graduate before they're done playing. So this is not abnormal.
Yeah, look, Doogie Howser, you can play football. I don't think Carson Beck is Doogie Howser.
Profiling.
He's I am. I'm 100% profiling. I'm also assuming his post-grad work has something to do with chemistry, with the certain look he has to him. But he's not anybody that I would. I'm not. I don't think he was probably going to a lot of classes 2 years ago either, though. To be honest.
Yeah, like I get grad transfers. 2 years after graduation, playing college football, taking basket weaving, just sounds like this is not.
So how would you set the eligibility to play? Be the commissioner of college sports. What is it? Is it number of years played? Is it age?
Yeah, it's just probably 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, and a red shirt if you want to throw a red shirt in there. But that's it.
So you have a certain amount of time to play those 4 years.
I'm going for a 9th year of eligibility, Stetson Bennett or whoever else.
I know that you can't be in the same recruiting class as C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young and Bijan Robinson and still be playing college football.
Yeah, what was he? He was Carson Beck, I think. He was one of these guys who, similarly to Cam Rising, like I think Carson Beck committed, when he committed was also before Vander Esch had ever played a game, and now Vander Esch has been drafted, gone through the NFL, retired, and is looking to get into coaching.
Listen to the difference in recruiting classes. The last 20 national champs had at least 2 top 10 recruiting classes in the 4 years leading up to their championship season. In 2022, Miami was 13, Indiana was 29. In 2023, it was 8 versus 59. In 2024, it was 5 versus 60. And in 2025, the Canes are at 14 against 53.
Yeah, so there used to be a thing called the blue chip ratio. And you had to have... I think it was you had to have 50 or 60% of your roster be made up of 4- and 5-star players. Maybe it was higher than that. And no team that didn't have that had won a national championship. And now we're seeing completely different ways to get there. Now you get there by getting the oldest team that you could possibly find. It's not by getting 5 stars.
Yeah, Bama can't just buy the 5 stars under the table and then have Saban bitch and moan about it when the rules change.
College football kegger part 1 with the Natty tonight. Everybody is on the Hoosiers. We got a Charlie Puth ticket giveaway for you turning it on, leaving it on this MLK Day. We go commercial free in the Expressway. And the biggest question in the National Football League moving forward, what do we do now in deciding Josh Allen's legacy? Next on 105.3 The Fan.
After we get you over to Underdog Fantasy Making Play.
Companions, 105.3 The Fan.
And it's back to Sean and RJ right here on 105.3 The Fan. It is the Expressway right now, The Fan, and it's brought to you by the On-Time Experts.
So now a third down and 11. Allen in the gun gets the snap. Blitz coming. Allen backpedals. He's looking. Has time. Going deep. Down the middle. Brandon Cooks is there. And he could not make the catch. And the pass is intercepted. It's picked off by Jaquan McMillan. What a play by McMillan to intercept it at the Denver 20-yard line. And the Bills turn it over for a fifth time in the game.
Westwood won with the call. Good morning, Metroplex. We are all working with the morning family together on Martin Luther King Day. Sean, RJ, Bobby, we got Peyton and Aiden on the Fan Cam, Twitch, and YouTube as the Broncos and the Bills play a thriller. Even though, Choppy, you didn't like this game?
It's not that I didn't like the game. It's just like you force 4 turnovers. I'm sorry. You have a +4 turnover differential, so you force 5. All right, Denver, and you still allow 30 points. That's awful defensive efficiency.
Okay,
you don't like
which
defense.
is a dream for you.
Oh yeah, I know it is. But I didn't like the way the game ended. I didn't like all the I agree with the penalties. I just didn't like the way it ended. So it's not that I didn't like the game. It was a very entertaining game. I didn't come away with this thinking, oh my God, we were wrong about Denver. No, we were right about Denver. Denver sucks. Denver's defense is trash, and it was trash all year because they didn't play any good teams.
I don't think Denver's defense is trash.
They have 9 games against the bottom 13 in scoring.
Yeah, that is also kind of a chicken and the egg thing, though, because generally it's teams like Denver that put you in the bottom 13 because they hold you to nothing.
No. They played Jacksonville. They allowed 34. They got run. They played Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, so that doesn't count. They played Green Bay, and Green Bay was 16th in points scored, so that's like right there in the middle of the pack. The only team they played that was good offensively that they beat was the Cowboys. Everybody beat the Cowboys this year.
The Buffalo Bills, once again, are the most tortured organization, team, and fan base in all of sports. Last 5 playoffs. 2026 blew a fourth-quarter lead at Denver. 25 blew a fourth-quarter lead at Kansas City. 24 blew a fourth-quarter lead against the Chiefs. 23 blown out by Cincy at home. 2022 blew a fourth-quarter lead at Kansas City. They lost in the divisional round over the weekend for the 4th time in 5 seasons. The streak of not having a Super Bowl appearance since losing 4 straight continues since 1993, and it extends their record of the most wins in a 7-season span without a Super Bowl appearance, including the playoffs. That's 91. 91 wins without a Super Bowl appearance. What do we do with Josh Allen's legacy now? Finish the game going 25 of 39 for 283, 3 passing touchdowns. He was sacked 3 times. He ran for 66 yards. Their defense allowed 30 or more points for the 5th time this season, but Josh had 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles lost, 2 interceptions. I kind of don't count the Cooks one at the very end as an interception on Josh, but it had him emotional at the podium.
It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight. I just missed opportunities throughout the game. It's been a long season. I hate how it ended, and it's going to stick with me for a long time.
He rallied them, but they were down 13, and it should have definitely been 10 at halftime before a silly fumble that gave the Broncos 3 free points. And Josh Allen now has the most playoff wins, 8, and starts 15 by any quarterback without a Super Bowl start in the Super Bowl era.
Breaking a record set by Josh Allen. I don't know. We'll do anything with his legacy yet.
Okay.
He's got 1 more year.
Because a lot of people are saying, some of the Twitter narratives, I'll get to Dak and CJ.
Dak doesn't have a legacy. Dak's not a legacy player.
One of them was, hey, if Lamar did this, We're killing him. You're a choker. You're not coming up big enough. Why are we giving Josh Allen? Are we giving Josh Allen a different pass? Is he the new Dan Marino?
No, we're not giving him a different pass. It's just Josh Allen's legacy is what it is. Like this is all kind of part of his legacy. It's I don't put this on the same level as Dak because, like I said, Dak's not a legacy guy.
Well, not Allen. Dak.
Yeah. So like Dak doesn't have a legacy. He's not going to have a legacy.
You're not drawing me off sides. I see you trying.
No, I'm not trying.
You're hard counting me. I see you hard counting me. I see hard counting. Get back to Josh Allen. I see hard counting me over there.
There are certain there are certain players that are legacy players, and those that are, like Dame Lillard doesn't have a legacy. He's a great player.
Fourth most 3-pointers all time. We found out.
He's a great, but he's not a legacy player, right? Kevin Durant's a legacy player.
All right, so you're not putting him on the wall of losers. You're not going after Josh Allen today.
It's not. It's like he has history shows if he doesn't win one next year or get to one next year, he never will. Because the only other players, he never will with Buffalo. The only player to get to their first Super Bowl this late in a career with the team that drafted you would have been Manning. And then the only one to get there this late, other than that, would be Stafford, and he had to change teams to do it. It's like, this is a one-and-done format is a miserable existence. It's if Tom Brady ran back his career, he probably doesn't win 7 Super Bowls. Yeah, he might win 4. He might win 10.
Is this coming from a place of Peyton right now?
No.
Is that where this is coming from? Don't judge too much the playoff failures.
No, because, I think the end of his career changed that. He made 4 of the final 8 Super Bowls that he played, seasons that he played.
Hitched a ride on the 4th, but okay.
Who cares? Who cares? Everybody hitches a ride to 1. Tom won with 140 pass yards in the Super Bowl. Like, we all hitch rides.
All right, Bob, where do you stand on Josh?
He's a loser. He's officially a loser. This is the run. This is the run that was going to be there. I'm glad he feels like he let his team down because he did. This is what he historically does. He lets his team down. So, I've always really liked Josh Allen. There is a Clayton Kershaw, Peyton Manning, or even John Elway, whoever you want to say. There's just this run now within him that just says, when it rolls around January, you're not the same player and you're not as intimidating. And so there's nothing that's intimidating about him. And I don't think, whatever they say, if this was Lamar, whoever brought up that point, by the way, everybody has historically given Lamar a pass, so I don't know what that's about. Like, they generally go, well, he's just doing it by himself. Lamar and Josh Allen have shown they are losers, and that's just what it is. and it sucks, but like...
So his performance against Denver, it was what?
Awful. He cost them.
Yeah.
Like, he turned the ball over 4 times. I understand one of them wasn't. The P.J. Locke interception was really impressive play from P.J. Locke, but he lazily didn't read it. He didn't think he'd get there. He was wrong. The first fumble was one of the most careless, just, I'm whipping the ball around, and it got punched out.
Was this the one before half, that one?
That was the one where he's scrambling, and he gets the first down, and he's got one, he's palming it, like he's Jordan out there ISOing.
Do you think something changes in him in these bigger moments? Or do you think he's played well enough to not have that label in these games?
If you look back at it, the last game where it was like, oh my gosh,
I'm flirting with the word choke here, but I'm not going there.
Some of the game,
he chokes. He does choke. That's what we've seen. He chokes. He has not since that Kansas City game where Kansas City, Mahomes in 10 seconds scores. Not since that game has he really just been like, oh my God, don't you feel bad for him?
What if Cooks keeps the football and they win it off the field goal there? Does that change the narrative?
They won in spite of him at that point because you should not have. He played poorly. He was not good enough. And this is the run that he's been on lately. He has not been. If you look at, what's it been? 4 years or something since he had 300 yards in a playoff game? He doesn't he's not a difference maker for them. He hasn't been in the playoffs. He is during the regular season. He's great. He has not been one of these Joe Burrow elevates when they get to the postseason. Jalen Hurts elevates a lot of times when he gets to the postseason. Josh Allen doesn't.
My brother started,
and I love Josh Allen.
My brother started doing the pre-Bobby takes Saturday at 7:14. This is all Josh's fault. The turnovers, the missed throw to Kincaid at the end of regulation, the underthrown ball in overtime. He blew it, and then I sent him Josh crying. And instead of being, my brother can be, cold-blooded Sharif in his own right, he goes, good. He knows it.
Exactly.
He goes, good. He knows he costs.
See, and this is what's so hilarious. These little sensitive bees on the text line right now. 469. Bob, let's compare Josh to Dak, and please keep that same loser energy. If you're comparing Josh to Dak, you've lost the argument.
Yep.
You've lost.
I tried to say that years ago.
Can't do it.
So if that's what you're doing, if that's 817, Bobby needs to be punched in the face. What an effing armchair quarterback that dude is. Go jump through a table in Buffalo, you loser. Then 817. I don't know what to tell you. They lose. They lose in big moments every single time. That is the definition of a loser. 817. Sounds like you probably are too.
So I can't go there. I don't know what is holding me back from putting him. I'm kind of likening it to Luka. Maybe I'm gonna unintentionally draw Bobby offsides here. I still have to give him credit. Now you got to
gets to the title,
huh?
Luka gets to the title game.
Josh Allen. My hot take. I don't know if this will be a hot take. Josh Allen will win one before and win more than Luka.
Whoa, that is a hot take.
I trust Josh Allen more than Luka Doncic to win a championship.
He's fostered Drake May now. Now he's got Drake May in his division. This was his window. Drake May's only going to get better.
Yeah, this was the. It has never been more set up for a elite quarterback.
He very well starting next year may not be the best quarterback in his division ever.
Am I wrong?
What?
This year was never more set up for an elite quarterback to break through than it was for Josh.
No, you're not wrong.
Because he had to go through Stroud, Nix, May. Tom always had to go through 2 Hall of Famers every year to get there.
Yeah, but you know who I'm blaming? You know who deserves the most blame in Buffalo, to me, is the general manager. I'm giving Josh a little GM pass. I gave you the stat that the defense, who Tom could rely on for much of that.
I don't think Tom ever won without a top 8 scoring defense.
They've given up 30 points 5 times this year. This is, Atolo hit me up and was like, you got to bring this to Bobby, who's always crapping on Elway. He's the modern day Elway, not first and foremost for choking, for not playing with anyone. That general manager, is it Brandon Beane? Mm-hmm. He wants to listen to local Buffalo podcasts and yell and scream at them when they're like, where's the receiver? Where's the receiver? Get the man a receiver. And if you don't give him a receiver, anything resembling close to a 1, he's throwing to Brandon Cooks and McCole Hardman. Come on now. Are you kidding me? If you're not going to give him the receiver, you better have a better defense.
Josh is the one who told him, get rid of Diggs. We can win without him. There was a whole interview he did.
In the ass.
But he did a whole interview with ESPN where he said, we proved we could win without Diggs, so get rid of him. When you willingly usher people out of town who were your weapons. That was
one instance. The guy has pink stuff in his backpack.
But he's also been the guy who contributed to hey, I want Cole, bring me Keon Cole, give me these guys.
Players make a lot of dumb personnel suggestions.
Yeah.
You're the general manager. Give him something resembling a 1. Now, they're down in the first half. He's reckless, but he was clutch. He's been clutch in 2 straight postseason games here. 2 third-down Allen conversions.
He was the very reason that they were in overtime, and he was the very reason they lost too. He was both.
What about their defense?
Josh was the reason they were in overtime? Yeah, Josh was the reason.
In part.
Josh was the reason they were in overtime because he didn't play well enough to beat them. So, in both those, you can look at that. Josh cost them. Josh cost them in regulation. Josh cost them in overtime. And I love him. He's a great player. He is, starting to become the definition of he's Barkley. The whole, you remember Barkley's quote?
Got to a final.
God want us to win the world championship. That was the Barkley quote years ago. God does not want the Buffalo Bills to win a world championship. God does not want Josh Allen to win a world championship is what it looks like. Because that dude, in the biggest moments, they either get screwed by circumstance like Kansas City, or Josh just doesn't come up.
I feel like he does come up big in big moments.
Yeah, like the last time he did was that Kansas City game.
No,
He has big
this
moments.
weekend and last weekend. He did have big clutch moments.
But are they not in those moments of like clutch availability because he doesn't play up to the standard before that?
Yes, but he also doesn't have.
It's chicken in the egg.
I don't think he's got enough help. You got McCole, Hardman, and Brandon Cooks. Come on now. If that was Dak Prescott, you'd be destroying Will McClay and Steven.
Yeah, but again, like, I mean,
give me a quarterback
if Dak ran off like Lamb and then was like,
okay.
or like Pickens. Pickens is too much of a headache.
Stephon Diggs has been a pain in the ass.
Pickens is too. If Dak were to run off Pickens now, I wouldn't cry for him if the number 2 wasn't good enough.
Look, okay, give me a quarterback with less help offensively. Give me one.
I mean, Lamar.
Okay.
Stroud yesterday.
Look,
Lamar's not bad.
Not the knock, but the boost for Allen in this argument is that in his playoff losses, they've allowed a ton of points. So they allowed 30.
So that's Sean McDermott. I think Sean McDermott should go today.
He's got to be fired.
Not that I'm not overreacting to this loss. They need something fresh. You agree that he should? Do you think he will?
I don't know.
Okay, I think McDermott should go.
These are their last 5 playoff losses.
They need something different.
6 playoff losses, sorry. 33 allowed, 32 allowed, 27, 27, 42, 38. That's, look, there's points where that is on the quarterback that you've got to, continue drives, keep your defense off the field, score. I don't know, not turn it over 4 times.
Yeah.
But when your defense is allowing like 32
when it's
points,
been laid out in front of him,
and it's so laid out.
It's Cincinnati at home. You're better than them. You put up 10 points and you lost in the AFC title game. Yesterday, it's a Denver team that you should be able to beat in terms of you're good enough to. You blow that game with like reckless turnovers and the things that you do when it's been laid out in front of them and they've got the opportunity. What was it last year? Josh, you couldn't get a quarterback sneak 4 different times in the postseason or whatever. Like, there are always these things where it's like, Josh, you're 6'6", fall forward. That's a yard.
Do you think my Luka comparison is crazy or offensive?
Okay, so if I were to ask you this on Friday of last week, how many Super Bowls does Josh Allen win?
I'll say at least 1.
I think you would have said more than 1 because I think we would have counted this year as 1.
Josh
you know what I mean?
Josh at this point only wins 1 in the way that Stafford does. He goes somewhere else, and at the end of his career, he does something.
Oh,
but that'd be the only avenue where I see he wins 1.
So you would fire McDermott?
Yes.
Would you hire offense or would you hire defense?
I haven't thought about that. They could elevate Joe Brady.
Would you hire Big Mike?
No.
Just want to draw Bobby off.
It's nice cold there.
Yeah. What would Pelahero, whatever you called him? Pelissero. What would he AI in Buffalo? Chicken wing? Chicken wing in a bar? They got dingy bars.
It's Buffalo and Green Bay are like sister cities.
A chicken wing with him jumping onto a table is probably what it would be. Or jumping onto a table of chicken wings. And then he would refer to him as Super Bowl winning head coach because Laura Oakman told him to.
So is Josh Allen the new choker? Where are you citing the fan text?
There's no defense for it. Like, the fan text keeps going, you're wrong, you're right. What? The burden of proof is on your side that he's not. He has not won in big opportunities. He just hasn't.
Yeah,
he's had opportunity. That's why this playoffs is going to be, are you going to become Peyton and just kind of rally your career in the second half, or are you Marino? You're Marino, dude. I'm sorry. You're really good, and you have not, until you change that, you are from now on a loser.
I just don't feel like it's late enough to say he won't change it or break through at the age of 29.
He could.
Yeah, it's not,
but until further notice, that is his label. This was the time. You don't label somebody a loser after year 4. It's like, all right, they're still coming along. We're talking about he's deep enough into his career now. Next year will be what, year 9?
It'll be year 9. So it's the Manning year.
Next year's year
Matt
9
Ryan too.
He'll be 30 years old. It'll be year 9. That's the year where it's like, okay, like starting with next year, your label currently is loser until you change it.
Luka, Josh?
Luka wins more.
All right. Pepe, where do you fall on it?
I mean, yeah, I'm with you, Sean. I think the weapons suck. I mean, yeah, they have an elite running back in James Cook, but I mean, the weapons just aren't there. Even with Stephon Diggs, I mean, they weren't able to win with Stephon Diggs. They need to get more help. Kincaid's not reliable, I don't think, for a top tight end in the league. But I mean, I don't think the window's closed yet, though. I still give him 3 or 4 more years. You know, the Chiefs are starting to fall. You know, I think the Bills will be back in the AFC title game soon. But yeah, he's got to win one soon.
877-881-1053. Franklin Franco, injury attorney text line here on Sean and RJ. We are commercial free in the expressway. Let's hook you up for being with us.
You just want attention.
All right, Tolos, that's right. Right now, caller number 10 at 877-881-1053 wins a pair of tickets to see Charlie Puth at the Toyota Music Factory on Friday, June 12th. That's caller number 10 at 877-881-1053.
Back to the playoffs at 8 o'clock here on DFW Sports Station. Let's figure out what everyone got into during the weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
I'm having a bad fucking weekend.
It's best and worst, the highs and the lows at 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053, Franklin Franco text line. And Bobby, start us off. You went out of town.
Went out of town. Almost got arrested because Kristen got a phone call. But we drove to OKC over the weekend. We took a short mini trip starting Friday to Ocana. Ocana is where we went, which I had never heard of before. Apparently,
house.
No, that's O'Donna. That's O'Donna. It's not a sushi house. I think it means family, but it's a water park.
Family.
It's like a Great Wolf Lodge type of thing, but it's one that they have in OKC. Kristen fell for Facebook advertising. Glad she did, but she even said, she's like, I guess advertising works because this popped up on my Facebook feed, and I decided to go. Food was really good. She was super impressed by it. Was
This looked like a 4.5-star meal.
It was really, really good.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this was the food. I've had food at the indoor park you said was Great Wolf Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that food. It looked nothing like this.
This is $200 dinner though. So like for us and the 2 girls.
4 of you.
Yeah, I know. But like I'm saying for 2 girls who they're ordering like small portions, it was significant. But it was very, very good. The whole park was nice. Everything about the trip was really good, except for a few problems. One, I found out I was allergic to cashews. We discovered that on Saturday.
There's a cashew allergy?
There's apparently cashew allergies is one of the stronger nut allergies that exists.
That's the number one nut. I love them.
So I've never eaten them. Never. They just, I don't know why. I've always looked at them. I've never, and I don't have a problem with anything else. I eat almonds, peanuts, walnuts. They're all fine. I just had never had those before. And so I was like, all right, they had this little ice cream shop in there. There was cashews in the ice cream. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll give this a try. Little tiny itty bitty cashews, like broken up. So I'm eating it and I'm talking to Laura and she's like, can I have a bite? And I was like, yeah. So I give it to her. And then she says, a few minutes later, she's like, my face itches.
Uh-oh.
And I was trying to figure out if it was from that. It was not. But I was like, have you ever eaten cashews before? And she's like, no. I was like, I wonder if you're allergic. And as I'm saying this, I just go, and then I realized like my nose is running all of a sudden. And then my throat, I could not stop coughing. It was itching. And I was like, the hell's going on? And then the roof of my mouth was itching really bad. And I was like holding the ice cream like, I've never eaten cashews either. I was like, I think this is probably an allergy. And when I was telling Kristen about it, she's like, well, she's like, I have a peanut allergy. That's what happens to me when I have peanuts. Like that same sort of thing. I get that same sort of reaction. So no cashews. Kristen
did you freak out or did it get worse?
No. I threw the ice cream away. I was like, okay, well, we're done with this. Kristen fell ill during the trip, which is not great. She ate something sideways, which ended up she ate something that she normally eats. Like it was we stopped at a restaurant that she normally eats at without a problem. Something different about it, some seasoning. She always gets triggered by God knows what because like she's got all these different like spices and seasonings that like trigger allergies for her. But we did get the police called on us because Kristen got her first call from Jacob since he left for the Army. So we're driving up there on Friday, and she's been waiting for like a week to hear from him because the whole thing is he's not allowed to call until they like give him their phones after a couple days or whatever. And so she ends up getting the call while she's at a gas station. I'm in the car just like waiting for them to come out. They had gone inside, and she comes running out, and she was bawling. She'd been already like really emotional and concerned about like, well, when am I going to hear from him? What if I miss the phone call? So she's had her ringer on. She's like, I'm answering every unknown phone call that I get. And she's like, I'm just answering it. I'm going, Jacob. And then if I don't hear him, I'll hang up the phone. But otherwise, I've got to find out. So she got the call. And then he started getting yelled at by a drill sergeant or somebody, and he goes, hello? She hears the yell, and he goes, I gotta go, and he hung it up. And so she gets super emotional about it. She was already kind of like teetering on the edge, and it was just the little nudge she needed. But she starts crying walking out of the store, kind of like running out of the store. And that triggered the concern of the cashier who sees that. And I guess they've got a patrol officer around there. And so she called and said, there's something wrong. This lady is hysterical right now.
What?
And so Kristen gets in the car and she calms down a little bit, and then she sees that officer walk up and she's like, oh, I need to go talk to him because they were panicking inside when I was running out. So she goes out and talks to him and explains it to him, and he's like, yeah, you're fine. He's like,
what do you think she did inside the store?
She ran out of there. I know she ran out because she was like...
But there had to be yelling and screaming.
I think she was like, because Addison was with her, so she was like, Addison, come on. And so I think she was like running out of the store like panicky. And so I'm sure it came off as, because when she came out, she was like running out of the store, and she was like just starting to, it was overwhelming to her. So she was starting to like hyperventilate a little, and like, I mean, she was just starting to bawl. And so it was like, all right, get in the car. And so we're trying to calm her down, and then she saw the officer and she's like, oh, I gotta go neutralize this, I guess. And so she stepped out and talked to him. I was worried that it was gonna look like I was forcing her into a car or something, like, and then she drove off in a dark SUV with this guy who didn't look happy, and so that's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
But overall, a good trip, just little.
So he why did he call and have to hang up?
So he called back on Sunday.
He can't like text follow up after that?
No.
Like all good?
No, so he called back on Sunday, said that when he called, and she was good after she talked to him yesterday, but when she called, he said when he called that they had just like that second somebody had done something they weren't supposed to or something, they were getting in trouble, and so guy walked in and said, put up all your phones. And so he's like, gotta go. So he hung it up. But he called yesterday. He has his head all shaved now.
Like you.
He had like I'm supposed to.
You will.
If it's good enough on the air. But so he's got his head all shaved now. He couldn't take off the little beanie I guess he has. It's part of his uniform. So he could lift it up and show us, but he couldn't pull the whole thing off. But he did.
Yeah, what a way to ruin a trip. Kristen gets this phone call on Friday. He has to quickly hang up with yelling and screaming in the background.
And then sit all week and go to work. Is he going to call?
Now, wow. With all due respect, as someone said in the commercial break, he's not in Fallujah. Okay?
Right. No,
he's not in Minneapolis on the streets right now.
And after she talked, she was weird. She's like, what if he's not like it? What if something's happened? What if he's changed his mind?
There's a 100% chance he's not liking it.
No, he did. He
likes boot camp.
He did like it. So when she talked to him yesterday, he was like, no, it's good. I'm enjoying it. Like
nice.
And so because of that, she chilled out after that, where she was like, okay. And she's like, all right, I just needed to hear that. She knew she was anxious.
It would have just been amazing if that could have happened in the first initial call.
It was bad timing. It was just bad timing when it came through, but he did get a little choked up yesterday on the phone, just very briefly. No, he said he told her, he said, I just didn't know I was going to miss you guys this much. And so then she got pretty much, but she was happy. He missed her. He's having a good time. He's already making his friends and everything, and it's not been too bad. So overall, it ended up good. But Friday, that first call, that did not set things in motion the right way.
Chop, best and worst.
The best is, Friday played golf, got invited, met a guy there. So